Welcome to Fictionary. I'm your host, Deitra, and I'm so glad that you're here and that you are you. If this is your first time joining me, Fictionary is a place for you to sit back, relax, and escape reality for a few moments. Today's drink of choice is a Starbucks Cinnamon Dolce coffee made by yours truly. You know, I say this and I mean it with all of my heart and soul. Coffee makes everything that seemed impossible when first waking up suddenly quite possible. It's one of God's greatest gifts, I have to say. Anyway, this morning I'm feeling pretty introspective. I'm in the process of some big transitions in my life. First big transition is that I'm leaving my job of 9 years for greener pastures. I'm excited because I'll have more time to focus on Fictionary, my writing, and hopefully some kind of a social life. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm going to have to be really diligent about it, but hopefully I'll have more time to dedicate to that. Also, I'll be working from home. So I'll definitely have to put in some time to make sure that I don't become an actual hermit. Like, you don't have to leave your house for anything. I don't have to leave my house for work. I could get my groceries delivered. Like, if I want to eat out, I can have that delivered. Netflix, Hulu, TV, like the world is at my fingertips. I wouldn't have to leave the house. So I'm going to have to make it a point to do that so I don't become a hermit. The other really big change is that one of my best friends is moving, and it's not down the street, but they are actually moving to another state entirely, like in the South. And I mean, nothing against the South. I just realized that I am more of a Northeast girl than I thought. And maybe I have some ideas about the South that they don't like me or people that look like me there. I know it's really, I don't know, but I'm really sad that they're leaving. So I just want to take a moment and just talk about Tamara. She's one of my best friends, and Tamara and I became friends through our mutual love of Jesus and creative pursuits. And over the last almost 10 and a half years, we have laughed together. We've debated or maybe argued together. We've created together. We've worked together and really become like sisters. And some of my hardest days, she has been there for me. She's prayed for me. She's encouraged me. She's the friend that I can sit down and write a play with, and then also have very intense planning sessions for the zombie apocalypse. We have very detailed plans and thoughts for how to survive not only the zombie apocalypse, but literally like any kind of crazy event that could happen. We've talked about what would we do. We watched Walking Dead together. We watched Game of Thrones together. I don't know. We've done so much. She's that friend, that sees the ability and the potential and the greatness in you. And then she encourages you to bring it out and put it to work. She's the type of friend that I think every person needs, but you probably don't deserve. I know I sometimes feel that way. Like, I'm so grateful for our friendship. To say that I'm going to miss her is an understatement. And that's not even mentioning her family. Her husband, Patrick, is like a big brother to me. He's always teasing me and then encouraging me and praying for me, and a good listening ear. Also cooks really good food. Thanks, Patrick. And then her son, Jaden, is like another nephew to me. I mean, I've known him since before he was born, and then I got to watch him grow, and it's really been an amazing privilege. He's such a smart and witty young man, and like, I'll miss playing video games with him, but I guess I have a new place to visit. So I'll be seeing you guys soon. It's not the end, but I just wanted to take a moment and say I love you, and I will see you soon. And I hope that you enjoy your new home and that you have all the blessings and amazing things happening to you there. All right, guys. So we haven't done this in a few weeks, but I have some things I need to woosah about. I kind of talked a little bit about them just now, but I have some other things and they've just been like driving me crazy. And I think that it's time that we have another O.M.M segment. And if you're not familiar, O.M.M is short for On My Mind. And for the next couple of minutes, I'm going to let loose with something or things that have been on my mind lately. All right. So today I want to take a minute and I want to give a shout out to all of my keyboard scientists and military specialists. All right, guys, I have yet again been wowed by the collective amount of knowledge you all seem to have accumulated. I mean, I don't know what I was doing. Maybe I was drinking coffee, playing D&D, watching Netflix. I don't know. But suddenly I find myself surrounded by experts in everything. I mean, Google can make anyone an expert, right? I'm not knocking the need to research things on your own, guys. But Wikipedia is not a reliable source of information. I could list a bunch of other, fake news sources, but I'm going to refrain because that's not the point. It just really blows my mind that we feel so free to speak with authority on subjects that we have no practical knowledge of. Like, how can you tell military generals what they should be doing when you've never even served in the military? Okay, and maybe you read a few news articles, but suddenly you're an expert on Afghanistan and military strategy, or whether or not vaccines should be mandated. Now, I'm not here to debate either side, but I will say the overwhelming majority of us are not experts. We have not studied and researched virology or immunology. And, if you have, maybe you have some valid input. Otherwise, guess what, guys? It's just your opinion, which you are free to have, but stop acting like your opinion is stone cold fact, because, my dear friend, it is not. Phew. All right. Okay. I know Fictionary is a happy place, but I do feel a lot better after getting that off of my chest. I love you guys. Whoosah. It's all going to be okay. All right. Deep breath in. All right. So now that I've allowed the real world to invade for a moment, I want to take us away. So let's get into our stories for today. As always, we will have 3 short original fiction stories written by the one and only moi. So let's just take a nice, deep, calming breath in. 2, 3, and let's release. 2, 3, and let's sit back, relax, and enjoy. Our first story for today is titled Toastman. The genre is spy, the word is chosen, and the action is casting a role. A monotone spectacle glides smoothly into my line of sight, and I am left witless by the audacity of the blandness emanating from him. He stands before the panel of recruiters, explaining the molecular structure of ethanol with the dryness of an extremely toasted piece of bread, one with no butter or accoutrements to lessen the thirst. He's almost indistinguishable from the wall. He is perfect. I hold up my hand, indicating I want him to stop. Again, I am struck by his blandness. Agent K, you have been chosen to go undercover as a chemist, I say. The end. Well, guys, I guess, sometimes it pays not to stand out in a crowd, especially when you're trying to be a spy. All right, we're going to go ahead and get ready for our second story. Our second story for today is titled The Pied Piper of UNARI. The genre is superhero, the word is particular, and the action is dancing. Soaring overhead, Mansa watched UNARI sway to the rhythm of the untraceable beat, surging over the metropolitan city in symphonic waves. Undulating bodies lost in the hypnotic cadence spilled onto the streets in a macabre and endless dance. Trapped for 3 days in a trance-like rave, the citizens danced perilously toward the dam. Already, hundreds of people had fallen into the waters. Mansa saved those closest to the dam, but he needed to locate the source of the music. This particular conundrum might prove his undoing. Save the few and sacrifice many, or sacrifice a few to save many. The end. Ooh, guys, he's stuck with a choice. You think about it, superheroes, people in general, sometimes we have these choices. It's like that question, if you could stop the train but kill everybody on the train or save the one person on the tracks, what would you do? And if the person was your family member or something like that. I'm sure I've got that completely messed up and backwards, but either way, you guys get the point. He's faced with I hope you get the point. But he's faced with kind of an impossible decision. What wins? Which wins? The few or the many? Or the many or the few? Who knows? I guess only Mansa will be able to make that determination. All right, we're going to get ready for our last story. Our final story for today is titled Run, Girl, Run. The genre is thriller, the word is lick, and the action is plowing. Relentlessly, my feet drive into the freshly turned soil. I am fast. I will make it. I will not be taken by a madman on a tractor. I hear whistling and the sound of the plow dragging through the dirt. I will get away from him. Abruptly, my momentum halts as my foot digs into a soft patch of ground. I hit the floor and the tractor stops. The sound of whistling draws closer. I try to stand, but I'm hurt. I drag my body, trying to escape. Then he is there in front of me, licking his disgusting lips. The end. Ooh, girl, run! This is one of my things I hate the most whenever you're watching a horror movie and you see the character and they are running and then they freaking trip. And I'm it pisses me off because I know that would be me. And it actually has been me. Not that I was chased by a psychotic killer, but I was in a haunted maze and we were getting chased. And they had chainsaws. I mean, it was all fake, but it was enough to get my heart and myself acting like a crazy person. So I was running and of course I tripped and it was just one of those dramatic movies. And he was standing over me and my best friend grabbed me because I was frozen in terror. So I can totally understand how they wind up in these situations, but I hate it because I know that it would be me. And I just want to get away. I want to live, damn it. Anyway, guys, I hope that you enjoyed the stories for today. We'll be back next week, and we're actually going to be continuing with episode 2 of Hexes, Hijinxes, and Jinx. I think I said that wrong. Hexes, Hijinks, and Jinxes. Hexes, Jinxes, and Hijinks. Oh my gosh. Guys, let me just make sure I'm saying this right. It's my sister's Kindle Vella story. It's Hexes, Jinxes, and Hijinks. I don't know why it's a tongue twister for me, but we're going to be reading episode 2 next week. So if you haven't already, catch up, listen to episode 7 because we're going to be reading the second chapter. Anyway, guys, I'll see you next week. I hope you have a wonderful and beautiful week. Until next time, keep on reading.